Let's look at the roadmap for spousal sponsorship. What happens next after you submit your spousal sponsorship application? The first thing that will happen is that an officer at IRCC will go through your application to make sure that it's complete. This includes checking that all required documents, translations, forms, and signatures were provided. IRCC may return your application if it does not believe that your application is complete. Now, if this happens, your application is returned to you without it being placed in the queue for processing. It can be frustrating when this happens because although it doesn't prejudice your application in any way, it does increase the waiting period because you have to get into the queue. Next, IRCC will provide an acknowledgement of receipt letter. This letter confirms that IRCC has received your package and checked that it's complete. This letter contains an application number, which is used to track progress using the IRCC's online tool or to provide updates. Now, if you use a representative, the representative will link your application to their portal account. If your application is then transferred to a visa office, IRCC will send a second acknowledgement of receipt from the visa office. The third step is typically the biometrics instruction letter. This letter is provided as proof that a complete application has been submitted and that biometrics have been paid for. The principal applicant will need to take this letter to a biometrics collection center to have their fingerprints and photos taken. Normally, you have 30 days to give biometrics from the date of the letter. The timing of the medical request letter may vary. Now, in recent months, our firm typically sees it sent out around the same time as the biometrics. The medical request letter provides instructions for the principal applicant's medical examination, which is conducted by an IRCC panel physician. Normally, the principal applicant has 30 days to get a medical exam from the date of the letter. After that, the eligibility screen typically occurs. The sponsor receives a letter confirming their eligibility as a sponsor. Following the sponsor approval is the approval in principle letter. This is a letter from IRCC informing you that the principal applicant meets the permanent resident eligibility requirements, but they may still need to pass the medical, security, and background checks. When all this is done, IRCC will request the principal applicant's passport in order to finish processing their application. A permanent resident visa is then added to the passport. Then they'll send a confirmation of permanent residence document. The confirmation letter and permanent resident visa may have an expiry date on it. This is the date by which you must land. Once you land as a permanent resident, congratulations. You'll receive your PR card in the mail typically within a few months. If you want more information on Canadian spousal sponsorship, check out our website or schedule a strategy session with one of our lawyers.